What's poppin', flame heads? It's your boy, the host with the most, Chris SGP himself. Yes, I know we're running just a little behind. I am still waiting on my guest to tap on the link so we can get him in here. What's up? I'll start shouting out some people. Sean Ryan Toys and Games, what's up? Taco Man is your ass. Yeah. What's up, Ness? Hello, LB. Nightshade. How are you doing tonight, Lori? Tickles. What's up, Grumpy? Elizabeth Mazak. Phoenix Poptastic in the house. Divine Pops. Admiral Funko, welcome. Xavier the Geek. How are y'all tonight? Trying to go over the list of names I see here. Sarah Aldrich, hello. Elaine Allen's popping stuff. Hello. Hello, Karen Leslie. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I kind of figured there would be a raid tonight, and I am so proud of it. All right, so let me go ahead and tell you guys what's going on. This is a new segment for me. This will be. It's not going to be a weekly occurrence. It's going to be kind of twice a month, maybe. I don't know. Whenever I can get guests in. Um, the only what we plan on doing is just bringing somebody in, getting to know each other. No, you did not send everybody my way. You didn't end early. There's no way you guys ended early. Right, well, you guys didn't have to do that. Denver is here. He hasn't activated his camera yet. So I'm going to go ahead and add him to the stream. Maybe we can go ahead get him to activate his camera. Denver.
Hey, what up?
Where's your camera, man?
Did you get my message? I didn't know I needed a webcam. Can I do this on my phone?
If your phone has a video, yeah.
Okay.
The joys of of something new. This is actually the first time I've ever had anybody on a live stream with me, so.
Gotcha.
But we are live. Say hello to everybody. Everybody say hello to Denver Funko.
Hey, gang, what's going on?
Give him a big pause. In fact, I can handle that just a little bit. Just like this. I went out and found a soundboard for this, just for doing this whenever I do it. All right, let's see here. Remove this one. And we're going to Give it just a second, guys, and we'll get him in here. There we go. There's Mr. Denver Funko
Here I am. What's going on, man?
in the house.
Oh man. Can you guys hear me all right?
I can hear you pretty good, yeah.
All right, man.
There we go. Make everything a little bit bigger. So what's up, man? How's everything going?
Man. It's been one thing after another. So I just found out 2 nights ago my roommate that I've lived with for 3 years is trying to sell the house. So got some more stuff on the plate to take care of. Trying to
Wow.
find a new place, and it's a madhouse, but staying positive and trying to deal with family stuff and battling with the courts and all that good stuff. So, but it's one day at a time, and I've got good people around me, so not too
Well,
bad.
that's one of the main things is surround yourself with positive people. You got to have a good support group especially whenever you're going through a lot of tough times in your life. I've been there before. After my divorce and everything just seemed like it kind of fell to shit and in a hurry.
Yeah,
And it took a really good support group that I had built to kind of help bring me through that. So I know exactly where you're coming from. I mean, the what happened and everything, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. Yeah, that's something I couldn't really fathom, but
yeah. It was an interesting night, that's for sure. I thought my dad was playing a sick joke, and then I, of course, wished he was playing a sick joke.
right.
But yeah, you know, life goes on, and back to work, and so. But the Funko community has been amazing. Everybody, I've talked to a few people, and I've done other things on Instagram and YouTube and social media and stuff, and there's no other community in social media out there that has been more supportive than the Funko community. And
Yeah, I've definitely found that the Funko community is a group of people that I can really call family, and I've talked to several, and they're always there, supportive, and we'll do anything to kind of like lift you up.
yeah,
There's always
absolutely.
people out there willing to listen to you and give that support that you need.
Yeah, that's the truth too, and it kind of catches you off guard at first, because I'm used to being around. I don't want to say bad people, but people that only want to be around you when things are good, and they kind of disappear and kind of fall off the grid when things are bad. But the Funko community for sure is just amazing. They come around people and they put things together, and I can't tell you, how many surprise packages I got that I didn't know from people I didn't know. I mean, like I got a box from you, and you
Right.
and I didn't really talked, and um, it's in some instances it's been more communication and follow up than some of my family, which is kind of crazy. There's no bad blood there. It's just you get to that point with family when you lose something like that, and it's like what do you say, what can you say, when you get around people that all have the same loss and the same experience, and it just kind of becomes the one and only thing you have in common, and
Right.
being around, and we all go to dinner or breakfast, or this past weekend we went down to my mom's, and it's just a constant reminder being around everybody that this is what what's going on. This is what happened, and it's a lot, but it's also good. My sister and I weren't very close for the past couple of years, and everything happened, and our bond has been stronger than ever, and it's been really nice. So it's sad in some instances, but it also brings people together and back together, and um, yeah. So I I've used the experience to really distract myself with Funko Pops in general, and I started a few months ago. My collection was at like 30, and now I just passed like 200.
Oh, it can blow up in a hurry.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yep. Sometimes I don't like looking at my bank statements because like, when did I buy that? When did I, you just, it's funny because like, I think a lot of it is that immediate self-satisfaction of, I saw that, I wanted it, now I have it, and then I get it and I'm like, where am I going to put it? Like I've had to buy bookshelves but I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the first Funko Pop I got, my mom actually got for me. I live in Colorado, and she went to San Diego Comic-Con back in 2014. And anyone who's tried to get tickets to that knows everyone starts in a chat room, and then they get moved to another room, then another room, then another room. And 4 hours later, you might get the chance to get tickets to go to San Diego Comic-Con. So anyway, she did. She went. Jax Teller from Sons of Anarchy is my favorite show. My sister and I have watched it several times, the entire series. And she came home, and little did she know years later that it would amass to what it is now. But
Right.
But yeah, so it's kind of fitting that she used to give me a hard time. We used to share an Amazon account, and it'd be like 3 a.m, and I'd be buying Funkos. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, Ma, it's okay. They're only like $8 to $12 a piece. And she's like, yeah, but you bought 7 of them. So, but she liked it. She would always, for a while, Barnes and Noble had this thing where I forget what it was, but they all came down to like $6 a piece for about a month. And I probably bought about 60 in 1 month. And she noticed, I wasn't buying anything on Amazon, and she texted me and she's like, hey, I see you're posting stuff on Instagram. Where are you getting these? And I was like, Barnes and Noble. And I thought, I was gonna get an earful. I'm 34, but you always, my mom, was just always Nicholas Adam and yelling at me. And so I tell her I got them from Barnes and Noble, and she's been a teacher longer than I've been alive. And she goes, I get a discount, right? And I was like, oh man, like here I am trying to hide it from her. And she probably could have saved me another $100, but
probably.
Yeah, that's when you learn you never hide anything from mom. They'll always find out.
Well, just so in case a lot of the people in here, I mean, we've got 41 people in the chat right now, and if a lot of you don't know who Denver Funko is, you see him on Instagram a lot, and what we've been talking about is the loss that he had this past year. What day was it that?
November 17th. It was a Sunday.
Denver lost his mom, his stepdad, and his grandmother to a horrible car accident. So, yeah, it's kind of one of the reasons why we've been talking about the support group from the Funko community, and how the community will always be there for you, in any way possible that we can. Whenever I sent you that package, I knew that Funko Queen was friends with you,
Hmm.
and I'd actually reached out to her. That's how I got your address, and that's how I knew that you.
I know I freaked out at first. I started asking around. I was like, who the hell's giving my address out to people?
Yeah, it was Queenie, and she said that you would like the horror pops, and I asked her if you had those two particular pops,
Yeah.
and she's like, and she finally came back to me. She's like, no, he doesn't. I was like, great, so I'm gonna send him these. It was the Chatterer and Chucky half face, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, guys, that's kind of that's what's been very awesome. Mine's actually in my bedroom. I have all my horror pops in there lined up on my dresser. I actually got one big pyramid of horror pops in there.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. um. So getting to know each other, getting to know for everybody to get to know you. I've got a bunch of questions I frantically trying to come up with because I'm a big procrastinator, so I wait to the last minute to do all kinds of shit. So
Okay.
over the last couple of days, I've come up with these questions, and the first one off the rip was tell me a little bit about yourself. But you've really done quite a bit of that since we've since we've already been on the air already. Um, Aside from what we've already talked about, what tell a little bit about you yourself. Um, I know you said you're 34 years old.
Yep. Born and raised Colorado. Two younger siblings. One's a half sister, but she's a sister. There's no. I've never understood the whole half sibling, unless you guys don't talk, maybe. But um, two sisters, really close growing up with my mom and my grandma. At one point, I was actually living with my grandparents out in Missouri while I was doing an internship while I was in college. So my grandma and I have always been close. We'd go to breakfast or lunch once or twice a month. Um, so I'm just really close with them. My stepdad, huge horror film guy. My sister and I were going through the house last weekend when we were down at their place, and he still has, and I remembered him growing up. He has the original Stephen King collection, and it's every book that he ever did in the red leather binding, which
Oh
is
wow.
crazy. And somebody had mentioned selling those, and I was like, no, that's not. I will take those. I will cherish those and read those, and um, so I been to college a few times, have a couple degrees, work in the IT industry. Can't really get too much into that because it's um,
Yeah, no, you were telling me that there's a whole lot of like clearance stuff that
yeah, a
you
lot
have to
of
be careful about.
yeah, yeah, a lot of intertwining with the with Uncle Sam there. So, um, but just an average guy, play video games, watch movies. Um, nothing crazy. Nothing now. I mean, I used to get into all sorts of trouble, but it was funny. My mom kept a folder for my sister and I growing up. And anytime we did something significant or testing wise or anything, my mom would keep it. So I graduated high school early, um, had a perfect GPA all through high school. And my folder has like two pieces of academic achievements. And the rest of it is all the stupid stuff. And boys will be boys growing up, and um, that would take 4 podcasts to get into that. And um, but it was funny because my mom had like her graduation robes, she had her diploma, I had a diploma and something. I think it was like the acknowledgement of graduating early, you know. But everything else was everything from elementary school to high school, and so I kind of laughed at that. And it was funny. My mom and my uncle, about a month before the accident, had gone. I think it was Boston. They were somewhere out east, and my mom, as a joke, and this happened posthumous, after she passed. My sister found a bag, and it had some stuff of mine in it. And knowing my mom, my sister didn't understand it at first. My mom got me a hat from Harvard. And my sister was like, I don't know if it's for you. She was like, your nephews both got their presents. She's like, I got something that mom got me. This has to be for you, but why would mom get you a hat from Harvard? And I was like, because mom's an asshole. And mom probably got it so that she could tell me and rig me, at the same time and say, now you can tell people you went to Harvard. Just kind of a funny thing. That's how she was. Um, so yeah, so small family. We didn't have anything like this happen, very often. I lost my dad's parents when I was young. By the age of 6, they both passed. So I don't remember them. That's super young.
Right.
So yeah, so just working and trying to stay under the radar and out of trouble now. So it's it's hard when you get older to get into trouble. I've noticed, unless you're speeding or you know something like that.
I lost my mom to cancer when I was 12 years old.
Oh,
My sister, who is in chat right now, she was 7. So I have a lot more memories than what my sister does, but it still it affected me big time because I was really close with my mom, and I think that's where a lot of my depression really started setting in around that time, and
yeah,
it's just boiled over the years. I didn't really have growing up. I didn't have that support group. I didn't really have anybody to talk to about all that. It was just bottle it up and keep it bottled up.
yeah.
And
I
so I mean, and it wasn't until I was in my late 20s that you know. It, oh, I think we lost him. Let me get you added back to screen here.
yeah, I swear I'm good with technology. I don't know what's going on tonight. Sorry.
But yeah, um, it wasn't until in my late 20s that I found out that having a support group was really essential to being able to cope with things like that.
I think
Like my
as
sister,
boys, we kind of grow up and we're taught to internalize things and not show emotion. And I
right?
think, I don't, how old are you?
I'm 36.
36. So we grew up in the same time period. And I think
Right,
a lot of it was, don't show weakness, don't show your emotions, and I think it was more like, I think like growing up, like my dad didn't want people to know, people didn't want others to know that there might be something wrong. Like when my parents got divorced, I was 9. And it was something back then you didn't talk about. Now it's so normal. And that's a whole nother thing that I don't understand why people get into relationships and get so lazy at it. But um, I think back then it was just you don't talk about what goes on at home, and you don't show that. You know what I mean?
right.
And so I think that's why it's it's really hard for me. And I've noticed like during this, and I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry, I was just
Oh no, you're fine.
try, trying to say that I think that through this whole period, I'm trying to be the big brother, and I'm trying to be positive, and I'm, you know, I've noticed like I haven't had time to really process things, because I'm trying to work at the same time and balance things and go through that. So I definitely understand, when you're saying, you know, like, I wish when I was younger, even just like through divorce and stuff, I wish I would have had help. And I hope people know that now. And that's my biggest message I give to everybody is it's okay to say you're not okay.
Right.
To reach out for help, to talk to people, to get that message out and just say, I'm not okay, you know?
Yeah. Whenever my ex-wife and I got divorced, my oldest son was he was 7, and my youngest was 4. Yeah, he was 4. My oldest would have been 8. Um, but I left before his birthday, the month before his birthday, and 5 years later, here it is. And I talk to him all the time, and I ask him, are you guys okay? Because I know how it was. I
Yeah.
know how it was growing up with not having both there. And even after my dad got remarried, I never felt that connection
Mhm.
with the step parent. So it still felt like a split, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I always make sure that I talk to my kids and try to make sure to let them know that I'm always going to be there for them. If they need to talk to me, they can, and I'm always going to be there for them.
Yeah.
I saw earlier in the chat, Variety Show Uncut, Darian. He asked if you had a YouTube channel. No, Denver does not have a YouTube channel. He does have Instagram, and it is at Denver Funko, just like it is on the screen there, just with the at sign in front of it. That's where you can find him. He posts a lot of stuff. He posts a lot of giveaway stuff, and you're reposting, I should say. So you guys go check him out if you haven't checked him out on Instagram.
I do,
Um,
I do have a gaming YouTube channel, but we're rebranding right now. We lost somebody that we normally game with.
okay.
And kind of like I don't know how to say it, but yeah, it wouldn't be Funko related, but
um, well, given everything that has happened in light of it all, what motivates you right now? What motivates you to continue carrying forward and just trying to cope with the day to day struggles? Because I mean, I know it's a struggle to
yeah.
get through each and every day since that happened.
A lot of it is knowing that especially my grandma would kick my ass. Um, if I, so for me, a big part of it is I've been diagnosed severe bipolar since I was a kid. And so depression is easy for me to get lost in. And so that was a lot of people's concern when everything happened. And I looked in the mirror and I said, you have two choices. You can either give up and, you know, not do anything, lose your job, lose your place of living, you know, um, or you can honor them and everything that they've done for you growing up and the lessons um, and suck it up and you know just get through day by day. And um, I pray a lot. And one of my friends, when it first happened, said that she was so angry at God, and I said, you know, why are you angry? And she said, you know, they because he took, you know, your mom and your grandma and your stepdad. And I said, you know, everything isn't a plan. I strongly believe that it was an accident, that it wasn't something that was on a list of things to happen that day. You know, I think that it happened, and it sucks, and it is hard. Um, you know, but the my sister and I have talked, and we found my grandma's will, and in her will is a letter to my mom. You know, assuming that, you know, my mom um, would still be here,
Right.
and we read it together, and we probably cried for three and a half hours. It was just, you know, she was just saying, you know, I know it's going to be hard. You know, I know that you're hurting right now, and I know that it's tough, you know, but know that I'll always be here and I'll always be watching over you. And so I really think that had it just been one of them or two of them, whoever got left behind would not be able to go through it, to mourn. You know, it's tough for the family, it's tough for us, but those three would go traveling together. They'd go to Mexico, they'd go to California. They um you know, my mom and my grandma did everything together. They were more like sisters than they were parent and child. um and so it's just one of those things that, you know, again, like looking at, like, how do I get up every day, and how do I say, you know, I'm going to work today and I'm going to be okay, you know. And it's kind of, sometimes it feels like autopilot, but sometimes it's just one foot in front of the other. And instead of, you know, how am I going to go the rest of my life, it's let's get through today, and then we'll get through tomorrow, and so on and so forth. And um, we have a big group chat that we text in every day, and we've all we all made a pinky promise. We all swore to each other that if one of us is feeling down or having a tough time, that it was basically mandatory that you would reach out, um, and say something. Because I think the biggest thing for all of us is that it's not just one of us going through it. We're all going through it. We're all doing this together. Um, so yeah, so is it hard? Yeah. Do I sometimes want to lay in bed and sleep and cry all day? All the time, every day. But I know that if I don't get up and do the things that I need to do to distract myself and keep going, um, everything that they taught me and every lesson I learned through them would be for nothing, you know. So
Yeah, it can be difficult, but you just, it's like you said, you have to take solace in the fact that knowing that they are, for one, in a better place, and they are looking down on you,
yeah,
and you know they'll you know do what they can to help us, to continue to guide you, and be there for you, and help you out as much as much as possible. I
yeah.
Whenever my mom passed, it's like you said. Who you said your sister had, you know, who was it that you said had the blame God for it? I'm sorry.
Oh, a friend.
Okay. I had a big falling out myself with God, and during all that, and for years and years, it took a long time for me to accept what had happened, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, it like I said, it took a long time, but now it's not as difficult. I mean, um, I went over to my sister's not too long ago, and she has some VHS tapes
Yeah.
that have my mom on them, and we sat down in her living room and we watched those tapes, and tears just streaming down my face
Yeah.
because it was been so long since I heard her voice, and it's nice to be able to have those types of things to be able to go back and and watch and just kind of reminisce on better times, I guess you could say. But also take know that she is still watching over me, and I have thanked her several times throughout my life for things that have happened in my life. She was one of the first ones I gave credit to for helping me.
Yeah.
Um, let's kind of move on to some more lighter subject material here. Um, I mean, not to discount anything that had happened because if we sat here and talked about that, everybody would be in tears.
Yeah.
um, let's talk Funko.
Yeah.
Um, what's your favorite line of Funko Pops?
Oh man. It kind of fluctuates. It was Star Wars until 7, 8, 9 came out, and the market just became saturated with it. And I know that's how movies are. And some people say it's because Disney bought, you know, Lucasfilms, but you know, I think everyone's trying to make a dollar, and I get it. So the older Star Wars for sure. Um, I would say the Futura. I think I'm saying that right. Line.
The Futura
Like
line?
this one I just got the other day.
Oh wow, I haven't even seen that one. Um, and
Uh,
I missed out on the Boba Fett, but I did get Darth Vader.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got Boba Fett.
Uh,
I've got my Vader here.
I'll I'll send you a link when we get done. I found a guy. So everyone that has one of those R2D2s right now, they're getting them from the UK. But most people are buying it. They're probably spending about $40 to $50. There's a guy on Amazon selling them for $16 shipped.
Oh wow.
Is that? I mean, he might be making money. They might have fallen off a truck, but I don't know anything about that. He's a verified Amazon seller. Uh, and I'll share that on my Instagram, but I'll send you the link if you're interested. That's
Oh
the
definitely.
R2D2 one is probably my favorite so far.
That one, the design on it is just one that would probably have to grow on me. I want it, though,
Yeah,
regardless, but it's just one of those designs. He just looks like a zebra.
yeah, yeah. He does. Um, and at first, when I first got him, because of the price, I only bought one, and I was like, if it's a knockoff, I'm out 18, $20 maybe.
Right.
And I waited and I got it. And of course there were no reviews on this guy's page, but he was verified, so he might have been selling other stuff before, but I got it and checked it out and pulled up a link for it. And of course the barcode doesn't scan because he's not in the Funko system yet, but it looks legit. It's sealed just like all the other ones from Target, except he's got like a special edition sticker on it. So
Well, all UK pops have that are exclusive to certain things have that special edition sticker on them. So I mean, whether it's a Target pop or Barnes and Noble or anything like that, it's going to have that special edition
okay.
sticker on it.
That's good to know.
That's just like with Australia. Australia gets the same types of exclusives, but it's going to have that pop culture sticker on it.
Oh, okay.
Um, you said your first pop was the one that your mom bought you, which is the Jax Teller, right?
Yeah.
I have the I don't have the set yet. I've got it on layaway at a local place.
Yeah.
Um, but I've got Jax, OP, Gemma, and Clay. Just the common ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have the Comic Con exclusive Jax with the yeah. I don't have that one. That guy is awesome.
I never go anywhere without him now. Um, man, that show. I mean, if I could find those, especially Opie. It's funny. Opie is my nickname around my friends from high school because in our close knit group of friends, there's three Nicks, and so we all have different nicknames to make it easier. Um, and that I for people that have seen that show, they probably understand um, just how amazing that show was, and Kurt Sutter, and that entire team. Um, Between that and The Sopranos, those are two shows that I could watch the entire series over a weekend and have no regrets.
I've honestly I think I've only seen maybe one or two episodes of The Sopranos,
Yeah.
but I have seen every episode of Sons of Anarchy and absolutely love them.
What do you think of the Mayans?
I started watching the first season of it, and I got I think about 3 or 4 episodes in, and I'm still on the fence about it.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of that way with Sons of Anarchy at first. I was on the fence about it, and after I think 2 or 3 seasons went by before I actually sat down and forced myself from episode one and just started going forward, and then I just fell in love with it. So that might be what I have to do with Mayans to truly appreciate it. Just like binge watch it in one sitting,
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems to be pretty good. I just the premise of it off the rip, I'm on the fence about.
After Sons of Anarchy, I swore I would never watch another show live week to week because towards the end, man, like when they go to jail and that whole episode with Opie happens,
Yeah,
and then the episode goes off the air, and you're just like, what the hell? Like
exactly.
what's going on?
Exactly. I know exactly what you mean, man.
Yeah, we had a big group, probably 8 to 10 people religiously every Wednesday night uh, at a buddy's house, and we would grill, and he'd get his smoker out and make some ribs, and it was just it was one of the last shows that I'll ever watch week by week. I can't do it now. That show messes with your heart
Yeah,
so bad.
definitely. Yeah, that there was so many things that happened there towards the end of that show, and I was like, "No, why? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
I cannot take this emotional roller coaster you've got me on."
I was really glad, and that this is one thing that I have in common with Sons of Anarchy and The Sopranos is that the director and writer got to start and end it the way that he wanted to. When if for people that have seen Sons of Anarchy and they know how it ended, the network did not want to end it like that. They wanted to have a chance to leave it open to do something afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And Kurt Sutter was like, no, like this is my show. He had it written into his contract that he would get to end it on his terms. And the same thing with The Sopranos, the final episode is a cliffhanger, and the screen fades to black.
Right.
And it just leaves you with so many questions. And I love TV shows like that. And that's why I like horror films. And I like the ones where the bad guys win, which I know like sounds horrible, but that's why I like, you know, the Jason movies, the uh, Nightmare on Elm Street, just because they keep going. It's not just one and done.
Right.
Um, you know, and I'm that guy rooting for the bad guy because I get sick and tired of those movies, you know, where there's a beginning, a plot twist, and an end. And movies nowadays are so predictable. Like Kate's Gaming and I will sit there and we'll be watching a movie, and her and I can sit there and say, "Oh, you know, I bet that's gonna happen," and then it happens, and then I just get so disinterested in the whole thing. But with horror movies, it's just you don't know what's gonna happen. You know, for the good ones.
Right. Horror is my favorite genre. Horror is my go-to.
Oh,
I and the funny thing about it is it being my favorite genre now. Growing up, it was my least favorite genre.
yeah.
And there's still a movie to this day in the horror genre that I will not watch. Um,
Well, now you got to tell me what it is.
huh?
What is it?
Poltergeist.
Oh, okay. The original.
Yeah. Well, I haven't watched. I haven't even tried to watch the remake. I own both of them.
Yeah.
I own both of those movies, but I every time I go to sit down and watch it, I just cannot do it. That
Yeah.
movie scarred me when I was a kid.
Those are good movies. For me, like I was saying earlier, my stepdad loved horror movies, and man, I think I was in middle school when 13 Ghosts came out.
Oh, that's one of my
And
favorites.
for me it is now. Back then, not so much. My I talked about this when I got up and spoke about my stepdad at the service, that you did not mess with my stepdad. There was in a short story, I promise. There was a night one of my cousins was in town, um, staying with my mom and my stepdad. So I went over there and we were watching, I want to say it was 13 Ghosts or House on a Haunted Hill, which is almost even worse, like even scarier in my opinion. Um, so we're sitting there watching the movie, and my cousin kept giving my stepdad a hard time, and he was like, "Oh, this isn't scary. This isn't scary." So at some point, my stepdad sneaks out of the living room, and the way our living room was, he had built a cinema in our. It was like a four-story house. So on the first floor, he drilled holes in the ceiling, and he had THX surround sound speakers, and one of the sofas, one of the couches had a sub built into it, so it would, you know, vibrate, give you the whole cinema experience.
Nice.
And out of the corner of my eye, I noticed light shining in. So it's my stepdad opening the garage door, and he sneaks in, and I see him belly crawl, gets behind my cousin, jumps up, and he's got a drill with an 8-inch drill bit in it, and just wah wah wah. I've never seen somebody jump so high before. Like my cousin, if he had shoes on, they would have been on the floor. He would have jumped out of them. And I'm laughing. My stepdad's laughing. My cousin is screaming and crying. You know, my mom comes downstairs and she goes, "What's going on?" And my stepdad and I look at each other and we're like, "Nothing." And my cousin starts crying. And so she's like, "Come upstairs and help me bake cookies." And so we start ribbing him as he goes upstairs. But it was awesome. My stepdad loved that genre, and that's what got me into it. But we would scare the crap out of each other all the time. He would take the garage for Halloween and turn the garage into a little haunted garage, basically not a haunted house, but
Right.
um, it was like a not 4-story, a 4-car garage, and you'd have to walk in, and my mom would be out there dressed up as a nurse and like had the latex, like the fake cuts and wounds and stuff. And my stepdad and I, we loved scaring the neighborhood kids. They hated us so bad. But if they made it to the end, they got a giant candy bar and a soda. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, yeah.
You were talking about House on Haunted Hill. Have you seen Rose Red?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's another one of my favorites. Rose Red and The Diary of Ellen Rimbauer. Those two movies. It took me a while to try and find physical copies of them because, I don't think they actually did a full release. I think it was just for like video rental places that they did The Diary of Ellen Rimbauer because I can't. It's hard to find just a physical copy of that DVD now. And then Rose Red's so hard to find too. But I went on Amazon one day or maybe it was eBay, and I think somebody had like bootlegged them and just put the two together and was selling them. I picked it up and I watched it several times. Those two movies are one of my favorites. And another movie that was kind of hard to find after it released because I didn't even know it finally came out on DVD was Winchester. That kind of ties into Rose Red and it's kind of like the same. I think they use the same house. It's just a different kind of plot line to it. But yeah, that was one of my favorites. Little series, I guess you could say, of movies.
Was that Stephen King as well?
Winchester. I think Winchester is. I don't think it's Stephen King. Even Diary of Ellen Rimbauer. I don't think Diary of Ellen Rimbauer is Stephen King. Even though it was like a prequel to Rose Red.
Oh, okay.
Huh. I'm trying to think. I can't remember who it was that did Winchester. But still a great movie nonetheless.
It shows there was another Winchester that came out in 2018. I wonder if that's a remake.
No, that I think that's it. I think that's what year it came out was 2018.
Oh, okay. Helen Mirren, apparently. I like any scary movie, even like the horrible ones on Netflix that are like Netflix originals. I'll watch because some of them are hidden gems. Even the bad ones are good because you look at like not the Walking Dead, Army of the Dead,
Mm-hmm.
how horrible those movies were, but the cult following
exactly
immediately. Like for me, my favorite scary movie series will always be Scream. And after the first one is probably my favorite. The second one's not bad. Then everything after that, it's not the greatest, but it still has that cult following. And Wes Craven, was like, I'll keep making these until, I can't anymore. And then he passed away, of course.
Right.
But they were in talks of making Scream 5, which and it's kind of like the Saw movies. Everyone has an opinion one way or another, but the thing that I liked most, and I've told Kate this before, is that I've gone and seen everyone on opening night, and the one I went to that I liked the most was Saw 6. And the movie theater's packed. And Saw always has that opening scene that is the, what do they call that? Kind of like the grab your attention, like the opening scene to introduce you to what's going on. And the opening scene happens in Saw 6 in the movie theater. And it gets so loud, people screaming and cheering. AMC had to pause the movie. They had to stop the movie for 15 minutes to get everybody to sit down and be quiet because everybody
Wow.
lost their minds. And that's what I like. It's about the experience. Like, it's one thing to sit at home and watch a scary movie and scare yourself, but to go to a theater with other people that share the same interests and the same, God, I can't think of big words tonight. Enthusiasm about movies. It's just, there's nothing else like it. Like, you go to an action movie and everyone, is just there to see, like the Marvel movies. You don't see people standing up and cheering or booing, throwing something at the screen. It's a whole nother genre, scary movies.
And one little genre that has caught some flack recently. It has mixed reviews, and that's the Conjuring.
Yeah.
And all those. And which I think it, the Nun, that was part of the Conjuring series, wasn't it?
Yeah, that went back to kind of show how Lorraine got her, or found her paranormal connection.
The Nun was, in my opinion, it's one of my favorites now.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot to make me jump in the slightest little bit.
Oh yeah.
And I was in that movie, and there was a couple little scenes in that movie that just made me, that quick little jolt.
Oh yeah.
And I fell in love with it. I mean, just something that simple.
Yeah.
See, even Nessar says The Nun sucked. I happen to think that The Nun was great. The Nun was an excellent movie. I love it.
I would have to say Annabelle Comes Home made me jump more than any of those, like The Conjuring, any of the ones that they had done before based on Ed and Lorraine. Annabelle Comes Home is just so freaky. I was watching it with my roommate's daughter, and I've, down in my room, I've got surround sound, and, I've got 2 subs set up so that it shakes the whole damn house. Sometimes I love it, but it's just, she's screaming, and like, there's parts where, like, it's the audio for me that makes those movies, like a lot of people complain about the jump scares, but like, that's what it is. That's get your heart racing,
Right.
Reminds you that you're alive and you got blood coursing through your veins. One thing I'd like to do before I pass away is go to Ed and Lorraine's house and take a tour. I've been obsessed with that stuff, since when I was in high school. Freshman year, we had something called intercession, and for 30 days you would only take one class. And so one of the classes they offered was Springfield. And all you did for 30 days at school was go to school and watch The Simpsons. That was it. And I tried to get into that one, but thank God I didn't. And the only thing they had left that was open was Study of the Paranormal. And there's a place in Colorado called Black Forest, Colorado, and there's a lot of heebie-jeebie, make the hair stand on the back of your neck kind of stuff. And so they took us out to Black Forest, Colorado, and we're on this road. We're going to this guy's house, and he had been featured in all of these shows and things that they had captured, before like Ghost Hunters was a thing.
Right.
And so we're driving down this dirt road towards this guy's house. The bus dies. The bus driver, and it was a school bus. It wasn't like a, like what school
charter bus.
Yeah. So the bus driver had a TV and a fan hooked up, like one of those tiny little TVs, but everything on the bus died. You know, probably half a mile away from this guy's house. And the teachers that were with us, you know, they, of course, you know, they didn't believe in any of that stuff. So they were like, okay, let's go. And like, nobody wanted to get off the bus. And the bus driver is like, I'm getting the hell out of here. Like, I don't want to be here. You know, he had seen stuff on this guy's house, you know, and like I said, it had been, I don't want to say validated, because no one will ever be able to validate stuff. But he, you know, as soon as we all got off the bus started and he reversed it. And I thought he was messing with us for the longest time. But when it was time for us to go, so when we first got down there, we had to walk about a half mile the rest of the way to this guy's house. To leave, we had to walk a mile and a half to meet the bus because he refused to go back down that road. It was crazy. And I've been fascinated with that stuff forever. And, you know, with Funko Pops, you know, I've got all of the Annabelles and the
I've got
Jasons.
I've got Annabelle in her chair. That's the only Annabelle pop that I have.
I just got that one about a week ago. I have the nun, the demonized one or whatever. That thing is still in a sorter in a box somewhere. I'm not. Yeah. Kate was like, "Why don't you put that on your nightstand?" I was like, "You could go to hell," because I'm not. Knowing my luck, I'll wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom because I'm old, and I'll look over and her eyes will be glowing. You know,
right?
I'm gonna break.
That would be a sick pop to have some glowing eyes, though.
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna break something when I throw it across the room.
That's awesome. Let's see here. What got you into collecting pops?
I blame the girlfriend. When we first started talking, I probably had 7 or 8, and it got brought up one day, and she started bragging about her collection and how she had more than I did. And I'm very, very, very competitive. I've played sports my entire life through high school, and that's what I was saying. You know, in 1 month, I probably somewhere between 65 and 100 in 1 month. And it to be honest, it didn't even matter what they were. You know, Barnes and Noble had this deal where they came out to $6 each, and I don't care what Funko Pop it is, at $6 you're getting a deal.
Oh, definitely. I would have been all that. My paychecks. I wouldn't have been able to pay bills that particular time frame.
Oh, yeah.
I would have went in and just, yeah, here's my money. Just take it all.
Right. They should just set up. You know, we have the Funko app. There should be a way to direct deposit your paycheck into the Funko app. I would never get anything done. I'd have to work 3 jobs. But so yeah, just the competitive spirit in me that, you know, she started bragging about how many she had, and I wasn't about to have that. So
right.
I think she still has me beat, because she's really bad about logging things in the Funko app. She'll forget, and I have to, you know, get on her about it so that I know how many she has, because you know, of course, as soon as I get one, I scan it and it's in there. And I think she kind of does it on purpose to piss me off, not putting it in the app, because she knows I'm trying to catch up to her. So but I've slowed down, just because it's, like I said, I don't have any room. I've got the box that the 18-inch Batman came in. That entire box is filled with sorters and pops, and then another box. So I'm just, you know, and like now I'm getting ready to move. So, you know, I probably won't do as much collecting over the next month or two, just because to box it up to move it somewhere else is
Right.
Does not sound like fun to me.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. If I ever have to leave here, I think I've probably got almost 300 in my collection,
Yeah.
and yeah, I've got them. I've got them all back here. I've got a couple up on my TV stand over here. I've got some on a end table over here. I've got them in my bedroom. In my kids' room, there's Funko Pops. I mean, just everywhere in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel your pain.
Absolutely.
What do you like most about collecting?
Um, I think a big thing of it is it's something that I don't think will ever go away or I'll ever get tired of. Um, it's something that I could pass on to my nephew, um, and drive my sister crazy with it. I think that's the big thing is knowing one day, I'll leave it to him and my other nephew and drive my sister nuts with it. But um, what I always used to tell my mom was, when you look at hobbies that people have, I was like, I could be doing drugs. That was always my biggest argument. Like, I'm collecting Funko Pops. I could be out there making babies and doing drugs and all this other terrible things. And she'd be like, oh, all right, keep collecting your Funko Pops. um, I don't know. I like to have them around. I work from home. Um, so my main computer here, I've got my 32-inch curved gaming setup and my custom rig. And then my work computers, I've got two 27-inch monitors. And so I have like an L-shaped glass desk. And so they're littered everywhere. But it's nice to have. It's one of those things that, like, when you're having a bad day, yeah, they don't talk to you, but like, probably one of my favorite when I'm having a bad day is Michelangelo. Um, I've loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles since I was a kid. Um, so I think a lot of it is just nostalgia. Um, and it's just fun. It's not that expensive until you start really getting into it, and then you know, as it gets really expensive because
Right.
you can't just buy one a month or one a week.
Yeah, it's. I told myself not too long ago that all right, I'm not gonna buy a pop this week. I'm just gonna take a week, at least 1 week off. And I
Yeah,
almost made it that 1 week. Almost. It was right there. It was like 1 or 2 days before that week was up. So a great deal I couldn't pass up on a pop that I've been wanting.
yeah,
Came along and I was like, okay, I'll take it. And then
that,
when I bought that one, I went out and I think I bought like two or three more. So I mean, it's just. But I always make that argument too. Yeah, I could be blowing. If I wasn't blowing it on Funko Pops, I'd be blowing it on something else because that's just what I've always done.
yeah,
I've been a collector basically my entire life. My dad started me collecting starting lineup figurines whenever I was a kid. The baseball and football and basketball players.
yeah,
I still have them, a good portion of them, anyways. They're at my dad's house in a showcase that he had built for me. Um, it's it's collecting is just a thing that's always been an escape for me, and it if it's not Funko Pops, I've only been collecting Funko Pops now for just a little over a year, and before that, I mean, it was just odds and end things. Like I've got all these little knickknacks up here. I've got California raisins and Dragon Ball Z figurines and just whatever. I mean, I've got all kinds of stuff that I've just collected. At one point in time, I was collecting retro video games. Every freaking Super Nintendo or regular Nintendo that I could get, cartridge I could get my hands on, I was buying them.
Yeah.
I was going to yard sales trying to get the best deals I can on systems and all kinds of stuff. Even went out one day and found I don't know if you remember the TurboGrafx 16.
Sounds
It used basically it was the first gaming system that didn't have an actual cartridge. They were little cards that you slid into the game system. Kind of like how it's kind of like how the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo DS and all that, how their cartridge-based systems are. It's just a little chip that you throw into the system. That's how the TurboGrafx 16 was. I found one of those one day for a really, really good deal, and I picked it up, and I eventually got rid of it. And it's like everything else, I eventually get rid of them all. Pops is one thing that I don't see that I'm gonna be getting rid of anytime soon. I mean, hell, they've been going since 2012. And here it is, 2020, 8 years later, and they're still as strong now as they were back then. I mean, granted, the market is really saturated with a lot of pops now, and the value isn't as much as they were back then. But then again, I mean, I don't think the collection craze was as big as it was in the beginning as it is now.
Yeah.
And there's just a demand for so many different types of pops now, and but I foresee it going on for a while. I mean, I know people are like, well, I'm gonna buy now and sell soon to try to do a quick flip and this, that, and the other. I'm like, well, this is all nostalgia stuff for me. This is my childhood, and I don't see it. I don't see me quitting this anytime soon. Even if the market was to fall off and pops became second rate to something else, later on, there'll still be a small market, just like Beanie Babies. I mean, Beanie Babies are still around. I mean, they were huge back then, and I even collected. I'm not afraid to admit I collected Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
I had a shit ton of them, and but you still see Beanie Babies nowadays, and you're just like, they still haven't gone away. I mean, they're not as prevalent as they used to be.
Yeah.
But they're still there, and I think that's how pops are going to be. They're not going to. They might one day not be as prevalent as anything as something else. They'll still be around.
Yeah.
They'll still be putting out cool stuff every once in a while. So as long as they're putting them out, I'm gonna be buying them.
Yeah. Me too. I've only sold one that I had and instantly regretted it because it was one that I had been looking for about 6 months, and I got a decent deal on it, and of course lost money when I sold it, but it was right when everything happened and was needing to get some extra cash for traveling expenses. And but yeah, no, I wouldn't part with any of these. Even the ones that I get, well, especially the ones that I get from giveaways or from, the community that have sent me something, even if I don't even know what it is, I'm very, what's that term? It holds a special meaning to me. Like growing up, my mom, every Easter, I would get a stuffed animal, and I probably have 2 boxes somewhere in storage of all the stuffed animals that I got every year growing up.
Right.
So, I hang on to that stuff.
I don't know if I still have it or not. If I do, it's probably in a box in the spare bedroom. But I've still got the original. It was a brown teddy bear that I had whenever I was just a little kid. I think I got it when I was about 4 or 5 or something. I remember whenever I broke my elbow when I was in first grade, I have pictures of me in the hospital bed with that teddy bear in my arms, and I think I might still have that bear somewhere. But it was it was a gift from my parents, I believe, for Christmas or a birthday or something whenever I was a kid, and it's one of those things I've always held on to. So I know what you're talking about with that.
Yeah,
Um, do you have any Chase Pops?
I do. A couple Pennywise. Um, I used to be really big into wrestling growing up, so I've got a couple wrestling chases.
Have you
Um,
found one in the wild, or were they all just like bought online?
a lot in the wild. Um, there's a place out here. I don't know how far out east or west they go, but it's a place called Second and Charles, and it's like a bookstore, but they also have secondhand used books and comics and video games, and they started carrying Funko Pops probably 2 or 3 years ago. And now, because of how big Funko is, they have a whole section of them. Um, and that's usually where I go when I go hunting. Sometimes like a Hobby Lobby, like a hobby store. Hot Topic for sure. I have a buddy not too far from me that is a manager at Target, and so he collects as well, and so he kind of keeps an eye out. And then I have a buddy that I went to high school with that manages a Hot Topic at a mall by me as well that does the same. He doesn't collect, but he'll see something and get excited because he knows I'll be excited for it. So
Right.
not too often though. That I feel like it's few and far between now. They always say it's a 1 in 6 chance, but it's hard. They say 1 in 6, but when they send out a case of 12, which is usually how they ship them, I don't think there's always two in that case. There might be five depending on how it's packed, but
Um, what was your? Do you remember the first Chase that you found in the wild?
um without looking at my Funko app, probably not. I probably don't remember. I'd have to look at that. Um, my favorite one is probably the Pennywise that I got from Funko Queen in a mystery box that I bought from her. It's the silver metallic Pennywise, um, and that's what I had been obsessed with for the past couple months. When that movie came out, and just because I loved the original, and I love anything Stephen King, uh, as far as horror, and Spielberg and all of those guys. And Pennywise is just so cool. I mean, I've got the giant 10
Oh,
inch.
nice.
Yeah, he scared my roommate's daughter, which I love doing. The sad thing, I have the oh my god, the giant 18-inch Batman.
Very nice.
He was shipped like this. His
I think they just about all came like that with the head popping off.
It's funny though, if you roll it around, I don't know if you can hear that.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear it.
But I think what they do is they put something on the inside of him to keep the head attached, and then, if you look at that,
Right.
um, I don't know if it was how he got, how we took him out of the packaging, or he might have been shipped like that or damaged in shipping, but I don't remember where I put him.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of them come like that, and I I thought about buying it. I just couldn't see dropping $100 on that thing.
Yeah. Well, and then the whole fiasco with Hot Topic, I got really pissed. With T-Mobile, one of the days, so every Tuesday, T-Mobile gives out, special deals. And one of the things on a Tuesday was 50% off one item at Hot Topic. Everyone and their mother used it to buy the Batman. to get 50% off. And Hot Topic came back, it was like the next day or later that day, canceled all of those orders.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I honestly don't think they were losing money on it. You know, there's no way that thing cost $100 to put
No.
together and ship. But
You probably got about $40 in plastic
yeah,
and materials at most. I mean,
yeah, exactly. And then the head pops off.
right.
It was kind of funny, and I was debating on bringing this up to somebody, but I had pre-ordered 2 of them. One of my biggest first giveaways was I gave away an 18-inch Batman,
Oh, wow.
and I ordered them through FYE, and I got an email from FYE saying one of them was canceled. And so I got mine, and the girl that won my giveaway got hers. And I was like, I only got charged for one. And I was like, out of all the times that people in the community get screwed over, or something happens, I was like, if they bring it up and they want to charge me for it, that's fine. But I was like, I'm not going to bring it up. They canceled the order on me with last minute notification, so trying to find one to send her, because I felt bad that she wasn't going to get one, and because she had won the giveaway, and I didn't want her to feel like something happened. And then she texted me the same day I got mine, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so happy." And I was like, "Why?" She's like, he came in the mail." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, that's awesome. But I'm sure people will feel differently about that, but there's nothing I can really do about it. Yeah, I could bring it up and pay for it, but they canceled it, and they shipped it anyways. So, and if FYE, if you're watching, you got my email, my Instagram page. I'll pay you if you want that money. Otherwise, you're not getting it.
Do you have any like funny or crazy or weird like wild hunt stories?
Nothing crazy. Always at GameStop. Growing up, like I said, I used to watch wrestling, and there was a guy that I really liked and I was a really big fan of. He wasn't a wrestler, he was involved in the industry, and he lives in Colorado with his wife and his daughter. And me and my friends are next door at this sushi place, and I look over in the corner, he's over there eating sushi with his wife and his daughter. And I pop, man. Like, I freak out. I'm like, oh my God. I had met him 5 years previously when I worked at Best Buy, and he came in and bought like a $7,000 TV setup. And I didn't really get to talk to him, because I was at the place where I worked and didn't want to fanboy, get in trouble or anything. So anyways, we're eating lunch, and I'm like, I'm going to message him on Twitter and see if he responds. And so I message him, and of course nothing, because he's got millions of followers.
Right.
And so I was like, I'm that person that I'm respectful to people like that. He's out at dinner with his wife and his daughter. I'm not going to go over there and interrupt that. And so we go next door to GameStop, and I ended up buying a Nintendo Switch and 1 or 2 Funko Pops. And he comes in. I was like, well, this is my chance. This is it. And he starts looking at like wrestling Funko Pops. And so I make a remark. I was like, oh, it's such a shame. There should be one for you. And he kind of looks at me, and he goes, weren't you next door? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, do you want a picture or an autograph? And I was like, well, I didn't want to interrupt you. He's like, well, I saw you keep looking over. And I was like, yeah, I'm fanboying. And he goes, well, I really appreciate that. I'd love to give you an autograph and get a picture with you now. And one of my friends, like my best friend, knows who he is. My other friends, are like, you watched wrestling, but I'm like, shut up, like this is my one time.
I'm a huge wrestling fan, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, it was Vince Russo.
Oh, okay.
If you know who that is, the guy that made Stone Cold, The Rock, then went to WCW, then TNA.
And ruined those two places.
Yeah. Yeah, huge executive producer, created the WWE magazine. And I knew he lived in Colorado, and I'd seen him once or twice before. But yeah, and he's got that thick Brooklyn accent, and he's just talking all sorts of shit about everybody. And he has a podcast that I watch, and he said something. I was like, oh, I watch your podcast. And he goes, pull out your phone. And I was like, he's gonna check. I was like, oh shit. Like, I hope that I follow him, like I watch it. So I pull out my phone and I go to YouTube, and thank God I followed his channel and followed him on Podcast One or whatever. But he hung out with us at GameStop for about half an hour and just shot the shit with us. And I had gone next door to get a Funko Pop, and they ended up having a used, recently returned into Nintendo Switch, and I got a really good deal on it. So that's what kept me in there. So as far as like a crazy Funko hunt story, not really, but that's
still a cool story nonetheless.
Yeah, and like I said, he's got a thick Brooklyn accent, and so did I ever tell you about the time? I'm just like, you can tell me this story 40 times, man. I will sit here for hours listening to you talk. He's a cool guy. I've seen him since and talked to him, and you always hear stories about famous people. Some people might not consider him famous because it's wrestling related, but he remembered my name, and that I was the guy from GameStop, and it's cool stuff like that. But like I said, it all started with, I want to go next door and look at Funko Pops because the Fortnite line had just come out, and I think GameStop was one of the only places in town that had some of the Fortnite Pops that I'd wanted. So
Very cool.
I talk a lot. You can tell me to shut up anytime.
Oh no! You're perfectly fine. That's the whole premise behind this. I mean, it's not about me doing a lot of talking. It's about everybody getting to know you. So that's why I call this in the hot seat, because you are in the hot seat. This is about you. This is about my guest, not about me. So I'm here. I'm listening to you and soaking it all in, because I love listening to people's stories. I love listening to people, things that have happened to them. It's just, I'm just one of those types of people. I love learning about people.
I showed you that I had a sticker up, right?
Oh no, yeah, that's awesome.
Right next to Funko Queen. I had you guys on.
You got me next to Queenie. That's awesome.
On the computer. I see you guys every day.
Do you have any hobbies other than collecting? I mean, I know you said you like the game and you like movies and stuff like that.
Computer stuff. I've been in IT and that kind of field for forever, since I was in high school. So programming, coding, building. I've never bought a pre-built rig before. People ask me, what kind of computer I have, and I'll try to explain that it's custom, and I don't know. It makes me laugh because people will talk about how much they have spent, on because gaming, when our YouTube gaming channel was pretty big, in the comments, they'd always ask for specs and things, and
Right.
somebody would mention, that they went to Best Buy and bought a gaming computer. Or like Walmart is doing that now, which
Yeah, I've noticed that.
makes me shiver. And they'll be like, "Oh, I spent $1,700 on my computer," and I'm like, "That's how much my graphics card was." Like, and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then I, explain to them what it is, and so yeah, so I would say that's more of a passion, but also a hobby. Um, I love stuff like that, hardware, software. Um, Growing up, we always had this joke. My best friend and I have done computer repair most of our lives. And anytime one of us would run into a problem, we would, bang our head against the wall trying to figure it out. And then we'd reach out to one another. And the first question we always ask is, did you sacrifice blood to the computer gods? Did you, because I've got some big mitts, and trying to get into a
Right.
computer tower, I always cut my hand. And it always seems like, we always joke, like, as soon as we get cut, the computer fixes itself. And I'm like, oh, you donated blood to the computer gods, you got cut and drip blood on a computer piece, or, on your tower or whatever. But that's what I love. And I use it to help people. That was one thing, my grandma and my mom would always call me, and if it was like a random time of the day or not our normal time when we talked every day, I'd answer the phone and be like, "What'd you break now? What'd you do? Don't touch anything." And
I get calls like that from my dad all the time. He'll call me up. This isn't working the way it's supposed to. This is what it's doing. I'm like, well, if I'm not sitting in front of your computer, I can't really help you out, because I mean, you're not gonna. I have to be able to see what's going on. I just
yeah,
to diagnose something over the phone is almost impossible sometimes, and he'd be like, okay, well, I'll see you later on then, or I'll see you whenever you can get over here.
yeah,
I went to Whenever I first went to college out of high school, that I went in for computer information systems, and I basically learned what I wanted to learn, and that was basically how to put a computer together, the inner workings of it all. And I just kind of let it fizzle out. I didn't even graduate college at that time. Um, and then whenever I moved in with my first roommate, he was a computer guy. Me and him both worked at Sears in the electronics department, and he put computers together in his spare time. Well, he got a second, part time job at a computer shop, and people would come in and request for custom computers to be built. I mean, he had some there that that the company gave him, uh, X amount of dollars to spend on, on putting a computer together. And, he would go based on that, but people would come in and also, get custom ones built from specs that they wanted. And at one point in time, he kind of got overwhelmed. So he asked if I would come in and help him out. I came in and I was knocking out two computers to his one. And then he was like, how are what are you doing over there? He's like, are you making sure everything's in properly? I was like, yeah, you can turn it on and, do what you got to do. I'm knocking them out left and right. I know what I'm doing.
yeah,
And he's like, I've never seen somebody put a computer together as fast as you are right now.
yeah,
And I was like, well, I mean, when you know what you're doing, and you that's something that you enjoy doing, you you don't take your time with it, especially if it's a job. I've always been one to get in and get the job done and try to, especially with something like that, get them knocked out. There was one lady. Oh God, this one lady came in. She ordered a custom computer for her grandchildren, and like I said, it was during the time where I was helping him out, and so I put the thing together for her. Awesome computer. What her grandchildren, her granddaughters were doing with it is beyond me. Playing their little Barbie games or something, because I mean, but she would call me up. She wouldn't even call him. She would call me up and be
Oh,
like,
wow.
"Hey, I need you to come over to the house to work on the computer." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna charge you. I'm not gonna do it for free." And then he got mad at me because he felt like I was trying to like undermine him with his business. I'm like, she asked for me. I'm not gonna deny her. I mean, it is
Customization.
right.
I gotta plug you in real quick.
What's that?
I gotta plug the phone in real quick. My phone's dying.
I got you. Yeah, I'm didn't expect for this live to go on as long as it has. It doesn't even seem like we've been going for an hour and a half. Do you collect anything outside of Funko?
Tears of Gypsies, but that's about it.
Tears of Gypsies?
Gypsy tears. You ever see that movie Borat?
Yeah.
Give me your tears, Gypsy, or I will take them.
It's been forever since I've seen that movie.
Yeah. No, not really. Just just Funko Pops. Oh, special edition video games. Like my best friend and I played World of Warcraft growing up, so every time there was a new release, we always got the collector's edition, and that just kind of carried over to any video game we ever got. It was always, the collector's edition kind of thing. But that's kind of died down since I mostly game on my PC. I just grabbed the digital copy.
I did at one point have some like special collector's editions of games, and then I just kind of fell off with that. I'm a collector of all kinds of things. If it's something that represents like nostalgia, represents my childhood. I mean, I've got. Where is he? I'm a big Power Rangers fan.
Oh yeah,
Huge Power Rangers fan. And last year, I set out and I was going to get all the Zords, but this is the first one that I got.
Oh nice.
And it's the Legacy Dragon Zord. It's got die-cast metal parts. It's freaking awesome. I absolutely love it. But I think my favorite. What's that?
I was just talking about that the other day. I used to rush home from middle school to watch Power Rangers. The original.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, back whenever I was a kid, Power Rangers was life. It was. I remember having to go to the dentist one day to have root canals done. I was so pissed off because I was missing Power Rangers that day.
Yeah.
Like I was like, can we hurry this along? Can we hurry this along? I really need to get home so I can watch Power Rangers.
I got shit to do.
Right. This is one of my favorite pieces as well.
Oh wow.
They've re-released this piece, but this is the original from '96, or excuse me, '94 that came out. It's got the original little sticker, tattoo, wherever it is in there. I haven't ever put it in any like plastic protector or anything like that. I bought this from Video Games and More, where I get some of my special Funkos and my vinyl albums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He had almost all of these, the whole set, hanging up on the wall, and uh, Tommy was my favorite Ranger growing up. Just about anybody's favorite Ranger growing up, and I saw that one. I had to have it.
Yeah. Ooh.
So it's my understanding that a box showed up today.
I think so. I got a couple today. Is it the? I think it's this one, right? Jake, Sweetie, Shoddy Pop.
Yep,
Shoddy.
that would be it. So I don't know if he has video, but we have Sweet Shoddy Pop here with us.
Hello? Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yep,
I can hear you. We can see a little bit of video there. Say hello to everybody.
Hey, yeah, sorry I'm a little late. You know, I'm in the car. I just got the audio going. Sorry.
Oh, it's cool, brother. We're getting ready to wrap this thing up, but
Okay.
I wanted to bring you in because this was kind of your brainchild.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry about
Denver.
that.
Oh, it's no problem, man. It's no problem at all. Denver, if you want to go ahead and break into that box, man, we would.
This is the one day I lost my box knife.
Yeah, dude, I gotta make sure that they're not damaged or anything.
Oh yeah.
That's why you always need to have one of these.
Yeah. I have one somewhere, but like I said, I lost it. I don't know where it went. I was trying
It
to open a
stays
box
right
from
next to my
Amazon.
computer.
So Denver, when you open it up, there's gonna be a sheet of paper that you're gonna have to read first.
I'll try the other side.
It's gonna be a card with a sheet of paper inside of it.
Oh, okay. Trying not to look inside at the same time. Do you want me to read it out loud?
It's up to you. Really, it's up to you. If you want to, you can go ahead. I'll be listening.
All right, so it says, "Hey Denver Funko, Sweet Shoddy Pop here. Just a little something from some of us in the community. I hope you've been able to keep your head up high and smile. Definitely been doing that a lot tonight, that's for sure. Keep moving forward with a smile. You know that's what they'd want. We are here for you if you ever need anything, man. Don't forget. I may be the one who had the idea to start the project and push for these pops to be made, but it could not have been done without everyone's help. I am blown away from the help that was received to make the pops possible. Thank you, Tony, Brittany, Glamma Funko, South Georgia Phoenix, Lisa Pavlis,
Yeah,
Peyton's,
yeah, that's right.
Peyton's Pop Planet, and Tickles Rex. That's awesome. That's funny. For making this possible. Also, shout out to your girlfriend, Kate's Gaming. She's not a good secret keeper.
Oh
So
my god.
if she had anything to do with this, I don't know how she got away with not telling me something.
Hey man,
She
she's the
was
real MVP.
she was an amazing sport and was the true MVP in disguise. Without her, we wouldn't have been able to go through with the project. Without all of you, Operation Denver would not have been possible, and I truly appreciate the genuine effort put into the project. The sentimental meaning behind Operation Denver speaks a million words, and we all hope you love this. Yours truly, Sweet Shiny Pop, and the loving pop heads that made this possible. Always remember, no matter how hard life gets, you will always have family in this community to talk to and help you in any way we possibly can. We all love you, brother, and we are always here. South Georgia Phoenix. Well, thank you guys. You guys didn't have to do anything.
No man, it's the least we could do. So whenever you're ready, you can look inside the box and see what we got you.
Let me pull up white screen.
Hold on. Let me get. I got to get you. Oh, I'm trying to get you pulled up. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Are we good? Oh, now he's gone. Did we lose him? Oh. Maybe that was intentional. Man, whoever taped these, I can't get this tape off. Oh my god. Wow, you guys. Wow. I'm assuming you guys can still pulling chat up. Oh, okay, I see chat now. Okay. This is
Yeah, we're still here.
wow.
I was.
Of course, the first one I pull out is Grandma. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. That's crazy, man. Kate knew about this the whole time?
Yeah, dude, she knew about it from almost day one. She helped us out. I had to
Wow.
ask her for the name, some pictures. So yeah, without her, we wouldn't have been able to even get started on it.
I can't believe she didn't slip up and say something. She's horrible. I tell her all the time, don't say something about this, and she's really bad about secrets. This is I'm definitely gonna have to make room on my computer for this. Wow. I don't know what to say, guys.
Man, it's the least we can do for you.
Might have to mail me a knife. I might still be trying to get into these by the time it gets here. Better tape these up, man. Oh my god. That looks exactly like my stepdad. It's got the guitar. It's got Van Halen on the guitar. That was his. I don't know if anyone noticed, but almost 97% of the pictures I posted of him, he's got a Van Halen picture on. That's wow.
I'm glad it was accurate. That's what we wanted. We wanted to be as accurate as possible so it could represent them. So that's the plan.
That is just
Yeah,
insane. Grandma, for
the
sure.
original design for your stepdad didn't have the little soul patch there, and
Yeah.
I asked Jake here if we could get that added in without it being a problem, because it just made it more. It was a more distinguishing feature of his that I could tell in those pictures.
Yeah. He had that thing since '98 when I met him.
Oh
Yeah,
wow!
when
It was
he brought it up, I didn't even think about it.
I used to give him shit every day for how stupid it looked, but that was my stepdad. That is so cool. They got the
So
name.
pop it up there again so we can see.
Yeah. The glare from the monitors. Oh shit.
Oh,
Oh,
look,
hold on, he'll be back. This happened earlier. There we go. We get him back.
Clumsy hands over here. Sorry guys.
I'm fixing to make you. I'm fixing to make you full screen so we can all, everybody in the chat can see it really well too.
man, the video does not do it justice. It's even better in person.
Oh yeah. No, that's 100% for sure. Grandma's spot on. Grandma is trying to. Can't figure that out.
That is awesome.
That is as one of my friends would say, that's wicked sick. I don't know if I want to take this last one out. That's oh. I like the picture on the back too. Wow. That's mom. That's so. Whoever did this did an amazing job.
Yeah, they did. They tried really hard on the concepts. They kind of reassured a few times just to make sure it was going how we wanted it to. So she would send it to me, and I would send it to Kate, and I would send it in the group, and everybody would kind of have their own opinion, and we try to form one final product, and that's what turned out.
Wow. That's so crazy. And if you look at the everything's backwards.
Of all the pictures that were shared in the group, of your mom and your dad and your grandmother. That picture was my absolute favorite.
Yeah, it was. So I did a slideshow for. We did like a celebration of life instead of doing like a ceremony, and I was doing the slideshow, and there weren't a lot of pictures of the three of them together, but when I found that one, that was the one picture that I thought was captured the three of them. That's for sure. That is so, man. That means a lot. Thank you guys. I had no idea. I never could have thought of something like, if I had thought about this, I would have had it done myself, but I didn't know that this even existed, that they could do this. This is amazing.
It's really an amazing thing that, you know, what people out there who are so creative can do. I mean, but now you've got them there with you at all times, man. They're definitely watching over you now.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely watching over you.
I can't even explain how much this means. Thank you guys. Thanks to everybody that was involved. This is, I can't even put into words how special this is. It's one thing for pictures, but to have something like this, a 3D thing, representation of them, is just, it's hard to look at pictures. I have one of the pictures of them as my desktop picture, and it's hard to look at. Every time I get on my computer and try to do something, it's tough. But this will be nice to have, every time I'm gaming or when I'm at work and having a bad day, I'll be able to look over and see them now instead of just having that picture.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. Well, I hope you love
Well,
them.
I do. These, like I said, I can't even begin to explain how special this is. I can't say thank you enough for these. This means a lot. And I'll definitely share these with my sister when I see her tomorrow. It's just so crazy. I just you get a Funko Pop of an actor or somebody from a movie, and it looks so identical, but to have one of someone that you've known your entire life, and the resemblance is uncanny. It's like miniature versions of them are staring at me.
Yeah, man. I don't know how the idea popped in my head, but I was like, as a Funko collector, I don't know what else. What else could we bring to you? You
Yeah,
said you shared the first Funko Pop your mom gave you, so I know they're somewhere close in your heart as well. Not just for collecting, but for different reasons too.
yeah. Well, you guys got me good. I was like, what are we going to talk about on this podcast? Let alone, I mean, we just hit 2 hours that we've been
yeah,
talking.
yeah. We're going 2 hours strong now. And one of the questions I was going to ask you earlier on was what was your top grail, either personal or value wise? And I didn't ask that question because I knew that this was going to be coming up, and this this here is the ultimate grail.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is. You could offer me the first Funko Pop ever made. You could offer me a Funko worth $20,000 and want to trade me, and I wouldn't trade these for the world.
No, those there are priceless.
Yeah,
Yeah, they are.
I mean, I don't have anything like that in my collection, but I the priceless factor uh for me is what my kids just got me for Christmas this year. And I mean, it's just a little common Luke Skywalker pop. I mean, this my kid bought this at school
oh,
with his own money. I mean, my 8-year-old son. He's like, Dad, it only cost $5. I was like, I don't care how much it could have cost a 50 cent for all I care. This pop here is it's more priceless to me than anything else in my collection, and it always will be because you took time out of your day, you took time to think about me,
yeah,
and that was kind of what this was with the group that we had with Operation Denver. Um, I remember in the beginning when Jake came to me with this idea, he popped up out of nowhere. Like I'd been following him. He'd been following me on Instagram, and just out of the blue, I get this message. And the message that he sent me, it touched me so much. I was like, "Yeah, I'm on board. I'm all for this." And then he and I became it. It was kind of like a co-partnership trying to head this thing up. Um, Queenie was part of it for a while, and it's just the the overwhelming response that we got from the people that we reached out to help bring this together. It's a testament to show how great this community is, and it's a community that I'm proud to be a part of. It's a community that I'll go to bat for every day of the week, and it is one of the reasons why I did that live stream the other night about the bullying. It this is my family, and I'm gonna stand up for my family. I'm gonna be there for my family in any way possible that I possibly can. And when this opportunity came available to be able to do something like this for somebody in the community that has been through so much in such a short amount of time, I I, I I had to jump on it. I had to be a part of it. It's because it's really something to show you that we're here for you, brother.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, man, we're here. I completely agree with Georgia Phoenix. The response that we got, yeah, it threw me off guard when I reached out to Georgia Phoenix and I got a voice message back. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous to even open and listen to it. I was like, man, what does he have to say? And then what he said, I was like, I was not expecting it. He was on board. He was actually really excited. I was like, man, I was not expecting this. I wasn't expecting really almost anybody. I was like, let me just try and message and see what we can get.
Yeah,
But the response that we got from everyone, the people that helped, it was nice to see the genuine effort that people put in to just get close and just bring something to you. It was incredible to see just like behind the scenes what was going on. It's a little special moment too, and it's kind of crazy. I never, you wouldn't think you'd make friends, over Instagram just posting pictures of your Funko Pops or anything, but it's different. It's,
it is. Yeah,
I don't know how to explain it.
I
I,
could.
I I'm kind of jealous over Jake here because he actually got to see these pops in person. He got, and I know the video, like you said, the video doesn't know justice. I can only imagine how wonderful these things look in person, and I'm really am so extremely glad that we were able to do this for you, man. I really am.
I can't stop looking at them. It's like I'm looking at them. It's this will be something I'll have with me for the rest of my life. You know, you have memories, you have pictures, you have videos, but this is just completely different. This is something physical, you know. And if you guys catch me talking to these, don't judge me. Einstein used to talk to himself all the time. I'm just baffled. I'm not speechless very often, as you probably have found out over the past 2 hours. But all I can say is thank you, and thank you. This
You
is
are
just
very welcome, brother. Granted, let's see. He can back. Just see if I can get him added back in here.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's all right. I can't say enough about this community and the people within it. If you ever need anything, my friend, I'm here. Just reach out. You know, I'll do whatever I can. If you need somebody to vent to, if you need somebody to talk to, hey, I'm having a really tough time today. You know, you mind chit chat with me for a minute? If you want my personal number, I'll even give you my personal number. And I mean, it. I genuinely love this community. I
yeah.
I feel more at home here than I do with my own personal family members, and it's kind of sad to say, but yeah,
It's different. It's definitely different.
it really is.
It's
It really is.
it's unlike any other bond I can explain. I mean, going back to playing sports through school, you know, it's different. It's different than that. It's stronger than any of that. You know, it. Uh, I, I I don't know what to say, man. I'm speechless. I appreciate. I I'm trying to form words and make it through until we get to the end of this when I can. Uh, yeah, I don't. This is just this is amazing. I never would have thought in a million years, and for them to look this good, this is just amazing. It's them, 100%. It's yeah. I don't know. Like you said, the community is unlike no other community out there, at least that I've experienced. And like you were saying, for me, you know, anybody watching this, anyone in this group, in this community, you know, we're all going through things. Don't ever think that your situation is any less important than anybody else's. I'll be the first, second, third person to drop whatever I'm doing. You know, anybody out there, if you need someone to talk to, if you need help, you know, if you want to scream and yell at somebody and you don't want to scream at your kids or your spouse, scream at me. I
Right.
I can take it. So that's one thing I've learned about this community is that we're really good about taking care of each other, but we also have to take care of ourselves as well. So, you know, no situation is too small or insignificant, you know. That's that's one message that I always put out there. And I, being bipolar myself growing up, I know what it's like to just want to be alone and not want to feel like you're bothering someone with your problems. I didn't want to post anything on my Instagram about this, and I decided that the only way to work through it is to share it with everybody, and I'm glad I did, and I'm glad that I've made the connections that I have, and met the people that I have, you guys, and Queenie, and you know, I couldn't name. I mean, I could show you guys screenshots of my DMs. It's all nothing but love and support. So I really appreciate you guys. This means a lot, more than I could ever say.
You're very welcome, brother.
Yeah, man, we'll be here
I
for
do need to mention Warren Falcon in chats wanted me to tell you that he beat you to the ugly crying. And MC Wig Splitter also said that he beat you to the ugly crying too.
Yeah, I'm holding it in right now. I was doing some of that earlier today, and I can't take my hands off of these. I can't stop looking at them. It's so amazing. Everything from the glasses to the hair to the soul patch. Man, I'm gonna miss giving him shit about that thing.
Well, now you can give the pop shit all the time.
Exactly. I'm gonna have to get a box of like Rogaine hair color and tease him with it. That was the last thing I got him for Christmas because it was coming in gray, and I'd always joke with him about that, about coloring it in. That's awesome. Grandma for sure. Grandma will go with me everywhere.
Yeah, man, there's nothing better than family. And, you know, we're here for you, so don't ever forget that.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, same to you guys, you know. Just because you're not going through something now doesn't mean days or a week from now, you know, God forbid, but, you know, nothing is too small, you know. If you're having a bad day at work, you know, anybody, Denver_Funko, reach out to me. I'm here. I'm always on my phone unless I'm working. But man, you bastards, you guys got me so good. I had no idea. I knew today, all I knew was there was a box that I couldn't open, so I kept asking Kate because I got like 3 boxes from Amazon. I was like, "Can I open this box?" She was like, "Yeah." And then finally, it was probably like 10 minutes before we went live that the post office dropped it off. And I was like, let me guess, this is the one that I can't open because I saw from Amazon. So
yeah, I was so worried about it getting there on time. Jake sent me the tracking earlier, and I've been watching the tracking info on it all day long. Just
yeah, man, I was a little late on sending Georgia Phoenix it. So, you know, I thought, I was like, man, because I've been busy. I was like, dude, I really need to send him that tracking number like ASAP. So then when he messaged me, I was like, let me go ahead and get it out the way before I forget.
and it's been an amazing journey and experience to be able to do this. And for those of the 27 people still here, one of the reason why Jake Sweet Shotty Pop has been so busy, he's getting married tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I was at my rehearsal. That's why I was a little late. Well, about an hour 40 minutes late to the stream. I was in the middle of rehearsal.
Yeah, man, getting married, tying the knot. Congratulations to you on that, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been very busy.
That's that's a that's a crazy time right there.
I don't I don't know if marriage is something that I want to travel down that road again, but I am with someone now. We've been officially dating now for just a few days, but we've been talking for a while now. And, she's amazing. I I love her to death. But yeah, we've talked about things like that, and I just right now we're happy with the way things are, and we don't want that to change. But yeah. So, but much congratulations to you, sweet shotty pop.
And thank you. It's out of the blue. It's not something I think about and expect, but things happen. So I don't. It just happens.
The best things always happen unplanned, unexplained. That'll be a good time for sure. I'm sure you guys will be just fine.
Thank you, man. So I'm hoping. I pray to God. It's gonna be a bumpy road, but see the ups and the downs. I'm gonna go through.
Yeah, you gotta rough them out. You gotta take the ups with the downs, or the downs with the ups. And
Yeah.
I worked for a long time to try to make my first marriage work, and sometimes it happens, but you always fight for what you believe in. So just remember that. Just always try to keep positive and fight for what you want. But I kind of don't want to end this stream. It's been having so much fun tonight. This has been really great. So we've got 27 people in chat. I said that I might, and I kept because this is kind of like a talk show, because it's interviews and getting to know people and what have you. So most of the talk shows you see on TV nowadays, they always have giveaways. So I was going to save this till the very end. I know I've got a couple moderators in the chat right now. So for the 25 people that are still watching, uh, I want my moderators to take my very last video. I would pull it up, but I don't have. I'm so afraid that if I try to do more than one thing on my computer, this is going to crash and we're going to lose everything. So we are going to put on the very last video that I posted, which was my midway game. We are going to put hashtag not enough tissues. If I can post this in the comment section here. So I want my mods to.
Man, I don't even know how to open the chat. I'm just now opening it. Just want to say thank you to everybody that said congrats. I'm a little late to saying thank you. I just opened the chat for the first time, so I didn't even know.
I really need to get like a full setup.
Oh, there we go.
And a full desktop computer, and because I'm running all this off of my laptops, and it's an older laptop. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to upgrade sometime soon. But yeah, take my last video, hashtag not enough tissues. We'll give it a few minutes to let everybody go over there and put that hashtag into the comment section. And we are going to do a random comment generator.
You know what? I might as well just throw something into. Why not?
There we go. Hey,
see if I got. Let's see. I got something in the trunk real quick. Let me go get it. Let's see.
all right. So you never know what you're gonna get on good old South Georgia Phoenix's live streams.
Let's give away this Luke Skywalker chase on that speeder bike.
Oh,
Might as
very
well.
nice.
Just go to my last post and just put hashtag just not alone. Just put not alone, and it'll do a random comment generator and just see who's the lucky winner.
Your last post on Instagram?
Yeah, on Instagram.
All right. Well, everybody go to at Sweet Shoddy Pop on Instagram. Go check him out. Go follow him. And on his very last post, put hashtag not alone. And he will do a random comment generator whenever he gets a chance to. That's for the people that are in this chat now. And I'm going to go ahead and try to get this pulled up on my phone so I can get the random comment generator done. Definitely not going to try to do it on my computer. Because every time I tried to click on something just to put that hashtag into the comments section, my screen kept flashing, not responding. I'm like, oh no, please don't crash. Please don't crash.
I feel you. I have a potato at home. It's so bad. It's horrible. So I feel you. That's tragic. I hate to be a party pooper, but I got 3% on my phone.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need to charge it, and I'll go ahead and do that comment generator, and we can find out who's the lucky winner. Just want to say thank you for having me on here. It's nice to see how it went through in Denver. I hope you liked it.
Loved it.
Thank you, Georgia Phoenix, for the opportunity to be on.
Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it, man. Without you, this wouldn't have been possible. This was your brainchild, so I appreciate it too, man. Much love goes out to you. Much respect.
Thank you. Well, have a good night, guys.
Yeah, you
Good night, brother.
Have a good day tomorrow.
All right, we'll give everybody a little bit of time to go. Well, if I can get the freaking ads off my screen here. Oh, Bella, hush. All right, so we've got 14 unique comments right now, and I know there were 23 people in here to begin with. So we'll give it just a few more minutes, and then we'll do the random comment generator. I've got two. So you guys are wondering what it is you're going for. It is somewhat of a mystery. I have two boxes here, and you're going to choose the one with writing or the one without writing, whoever wins. So I promise there's no duds. They're both pretty good pops. So and then whatever it is that whoever wins it, I will open up and show you what you won, and that'll be it. We will go ahead and start wrapping everything up for the night and let Denver get some rest.
Get some sleep for once. I haven't been sleeping too well.
I can imagine this. Now you can set those 3 pops by your bedside and have your guardian angels looking over you.
Ooh.
All right, we still got 14, so I'm assuming that that's all the people that wanted to participate in this. So
There's 14 people that haven't entered a free giveaway.
well, yeah, there was oh, about half of them only entered. So I mean, hey, that's just one of those things. They said we'll give it a few more minutes. Yeah, I'm doing a giveaway on the. I'm doing a giveaway on my channel. The last video that I posted, which is my midweek flame, I need to put in the comment hashtag not enough tissues, and then Sweet Shoddy Pop was doing also threw in a giveaway. You have to go to his very last post on Instagram and put in hashtag not alone. So 2 giveaways, one from me, one from Sweet Shoddy Pop. You're only going to see me do the one from my channel. Sweet Shoddy Pop will handle his on his Instagram page. You have to give him a while for his phone to charge up, and that way he can make a video and then do the comment generator there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do this.
I'm typing. Okay. Oh, I did at instead of hashtag. Hold on. Because if I win, I want to donate it to somebody. All right. Now you could do it. I entered. I wasn't going to enter it first.
Oh. Let me come in here. Give me just a second, guys. I'm gonna make sure that there aren't any. I don't know if I can check. Let's see. Let me see if I can do this without my computer crashing. If something happens, then we'll try to come back. But I am going to check to see if there's any comments in the spam folder that have not shown up. My dog is running wild all over the house right now. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I would pull it up on my phone, but I can't look at. I can't look at that on my phone itself. I want to give everybody a fair chance. Oh. All right, let's see here. It's saying that I should have. Fella, chill out. This will take. I'm almost there, guys. It's taking forever to pull these comments up.
Oh my gosh, what are you doing?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, okay.
All right. Yep, there's nothing in the spam folder, so. All right.
Who's gonna win?
So. All right. Let's see. I might need to lower the brightness on my phone here. There we go. And we shall start and see who's the winner. Winner is Grumpy Skunk.
Nice.
Congratulations, Grump. So, Grumpy, which one do you want? The one with the writing or one without the writing?
What's the one with writing say?
Funko LLC, Pop Movies, Pumpkin. I don't know.
Is that what's in there, or did you put something else in there?
No, I put something else in there.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say usually the pumpkin is Marvel, I think. Yeah, especially when it says Vietnam on it. I could be wrong. What do you
The
choose?
one with no writing. All right.
Open the other one first.
Open the other one first?
Yeah.
All right, so this is what you didn't win.
Make them sweat it out a little bit. Behind door number 2, this is what you could have won.
Right? This is what you could have won. You could have won Angel.
Ooh. That's nice.
That's what was in the box with the writing. So, behind door number 1, what Grumpy Skunk chose was Coca-Cola Bear.
Nice. That's a good pull.
So I hope you didn't have it, Grump. But hit me up on Instagram and send me your address, and I will get this pop out to you. So yeah, I think that's gonna about wrap it up for us. I don't really have anything much else I can think of. Thank you for being my first guest.
Oh yeah. No, I especially at the end, I wouldn't trade this for anything else in the world. I appreciate it, and thanks for having me. It was fun. I've tried to do something, like a podcast, or we have a podcast. We don't do video or anything, but this was fun. I'm glad it was you, and I couldn't imagine doing it with anybody else. So thanks for your patience with me. I know I closed the app a few times on accident and backed out, and thanks for everybody that watched. I I had a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm just rambling now because my brain is so tired. So
I can imagine. Thank you everybody for that came and joined us tonight for the very first episode of In the Hot Seat with South Georgia Phoenix. This, like I said before, this will be an ongoing thing. This isn't just a once off, type of deal. We're gonna get Tickles. I see you in there. I'm coming after you eventually. Elizabeth Mazak, I'm coming after you. We're gonna get something set up. I know Lindsay B. She wants to take part in it, and I just got to get something set up with her. I think Glamour Funko wants to do it too. Try to get something set up with her. Peyton's Pop Planet definitely. She's one of my best friends in this community. I talk to her all the time. So and she's definitely on board. So yeah. Thanks everybody for stopping by. We really do appreciate it. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And other than that, guys, just keep it popping, and we will see you next time. Later, guys.
stay classy.